It's really weird how easy it is to feel alone in today's world with all those social media and all the things around us that kind of make you feel not alone, but also alone at the same time. Does that make sense? What is going on, guys? It's Jib. Welcome to the channel once again. Hope you guys have a great day, a fantastic week, and everything between it. Welcome to the channel. Love you all. We're back onto Black Ops 7 because Black Ops 7 is a game that I can kind of go on and vibe and hang out and some gun game and just chill. So, what we're going to do is we're going to hang out. We're going to vibe. We got to get our free double XP for the day or whatever. I don't know. It's the daily thing, whatever. So we gotta get a free double XP, right? I have a lot of double XP on this game. I really do. It's a lot. Like, oh my, yeah, there's a lot. I never use these ones, the weapon and the battle pass double XP. I used the regular double XP a few times, but as you can see, I have 49 hour tokens, and I don't know. I just never use. I never use it because I don't care too much about level, so I just never use it. Right? We're gonna watch it. We're gonna hop into some gun game. Go ahead and disconnect from voice chat so we don't get anything to bug us. Welcome back, everybody. Feeling alone now. Feeling alone is kind of a thing that has kind of been very. There's been a lot of people that have felt alone in terms of a lot of different things, me being one of them. You know, you feel alone for various reasons, whether you got broken up with and you're just, your ex left you, you feel alone because of that, or, you just feel alone because you haven't found that person yet. You haven't found anyone, that special person yet, and you're just still kind of looking for someone and you haven't found that person yet, right? Or maybe you're just finally, you were just living with your parents or something, or you're just living with a brother or sister, and you finally moved out on your own and now you're all alone and now you feel lonely and everything like this. And there's many different things that can cause you to feel alone, maybe, or maybe a loved one passed away. Many different things that can make you feel alone. Many different things. But basically, though, what I want to say is that you're not alone. This is a hard thing to swallow for me, especially because with the most recent breakup for me, because I really thought genuinely that I thought genuinely I was gonna marry her, right? I genuinely thought that, she was the first girl that I wanted to go to my mom and say, or that I did go to my mom and say, hey, mom, I want to marry this girl. She's the very first girl that I ever said that to my mom, right? I've only had about 5 relationships, right? 5 or 6 relationships. I'm almost 30 and I've only had about 5 or 6. And this is because I take relationships very serious. I usually take them pretty serious because my father cheated on my mother. And so I told myself I would be a better spouse or significant other than my dad was. And basically, I always took that as a lesson of what not to do in terms of a relationship. So I've always taken relationships very serious, as well as because, having that one person there that you're obviously they're emotionally invested in you so much, it's not really fair to not give that, to reciprocate that same investment in a sense. You know what I mean? As for if you're not gonna do that same investment, there's really no point in being with that person, right? There's really no point to it, right? You're basically just wasting both of your time, because if you're not gonna like come around and emotionally invest just like they are, there's just no point to the relationship, right? It's just very one-sided, and it's just not a good idea. Anyways, my ex, like I said, was the very first girl that I felt like I genuinely actually went to my mom and said, hey, I kind of want to marry this girl. She ended up, leaving me at New Year's Eve. I made a video about, or like I talked about this in a few videos already. She had to leave me on New Year's Eve, and it really hit me hard, right? I called the prevention hotline a couple times in the past few months, and I've been in the trenches. I ended up having to find a new job because of her dating another coworker, and I just couldn't bear to see that. I couldn't bear to go to work every day and see that every day, So I had to find a new job. So I found a new job recently. I started that a couple weeks ago, and I've been kind of doing that and trying to get back on my feet in terms of mental state and stuff like that. I've been trying to handle my depression, trying to handle all that, and deal with that stuff. And it's hard to think that you're not alone when you feel like you're alone like all the time, right? No matter what, it's been me especially, right? I always, for whatever reason, feel alone, and I don't know why. It just seems like I look around at my friends from high school and close friends, and there is so many of them in happy relationships. And my friends from high school, I'm the only one that doesn't have a kid yet, right? And it makes me kind of wonder, what am I doing with my life? And like kind of makes you wonder if I'll ever have, say, a family, if I'll ever meet the right one that I actually will end up marrying. And it really makes you kind of wonder. I don't know. It's hard to feel like it's in the cards for me because of, recent events and late night thoughts and, all this stuff. And like, I don't know. And don't get me wrong. there are benefits to being single. Don't get me wrong. There are benefits. You can do what you want. You can vibe and do whatever you want. I can play video games as much as I want. I can make content as much as I want. And I say that as I hardly make content. Like when I first got broken up with, my initial thought, or like my or like kind of like after it kind of hit me, and after all the sadness kind of like, I guess I wouldn't say left me, but like after I kind of like was like, oh, what am I gonna do with all my time? It kind of hit me like, oh, I could make a bunch of content. I could like just sink myself into content and like only care about that, right? As great as that is, as great as it is to do said doing that or whatever, it kind of like, I don't know, like, because I did that a while back, like a really long time ago, and like it really causes burnout, and it really makes you kind of burnt out, and then like kind of you end up like not want to do any content because you're so burnt out, and I'm afraid of that happening, and that's why I haven't done that. Like this is a hobby that I like to enjoy, and I don't want to sit at my desk just to like be like, oh my gosh, oh man, gotta make another video. Oh my gosh, I gotta do this. It's just hard to kind of figure out. I don't know. I have so much free time. I just don't know what to do with it. I really don't. And like I don't know. It's been rough lately, And I like I said, I always feel like alone. I know I'm not alone. I have friends that care about me. I have family members that care about. This is such a horrible gun. I hate that gun so much. Dude. I have friends that care about me. I have family members that care about me and everything. But like at the same time, it doesn't change the fact that I still feel alone when I'm at home alone. Like I have my dog. Don't get me wrong. But at the same time, like having that other person is what makes stuff kind of that much better. Having someone there with you makes things so much better. You know what I mean? And don't get me wrong, I did find someone recently, shortly after the breakup. Actually, I did find someone else that I did grow feelings for. Unfortunately, those feelings were not reciprocated. They did not feel the same way, and which is fine. You can't make someone like you. You really can't. And you can't force someone to like you. You can't make someone like you. And it's just, as much as it sucks, you gotta try and move on with life, right? I guess like the whole point of this is me talking about how no matter what you're going through, your struggles, your tribulations, whatever you're going through, you're not alone. There's other people going through the same stuff. There's other things going through, or other people going through worse things. And it's just hard. It's hard to see that kind of thought, or like hard to have that thought, but it's the reality, or like it's the truth. There's are worse things that could be happening, and there's people in worse scenarios than you are. But for you, it feels like the end of the world. Like when my ex left me, it felt like the absolute end of the world. A week after I called the prevention hotline, and I just felt so alone. I just felt so lost. I felt completely broken, and I didn't know what to do with myself. And here I am now, 4 months later, just over 4 months later, and I still somewhat feel the same, but not as bad. I left, like I said, I had to leave my work. I had to leave where I work because she was there. And since I left that workplace, I have felt better. I don't see her every day because seeing her every day really brought down my mood. So I no longer see her every day, and it's been actually helped me quite a bit. It's one of those things that was kind of like I had to remove myself from the situation to really kind of move on with my life, because I felt like if I would have stayed there, if I would have stayed at my old job where she also worked, and then seeing her every day with her new significant other, her new boyfriend, I would every day I'd be in a horrible spot mentally. That I could be in a good mood, and the moment I see her, my mood would go downhill so fast, right? I could come to work, I could like upload a video on YouTube, and it could do really well, right? And then I could come to work in a really good mood, like, yeah, dude, such a great video, I did really good. The moment I see her, boom, all my feelings, all the pain comes back, and I just can't do it anymore. There goes my mood. And that's what I wanted to get away from, which is why I left that job. And it's funny because I had a lot of people ask me that were like, "Oh, why are you leaving, dude? Don't you like it here?" And I was like, "Yeah, I do. I love a lot of my coworkers, and I loved working where I did. As much as I like harp on the place, it wasn't a horrible place to work. I was there for 8 years. To leave was very hard. I remember my last day. I went around doing my goodbyes as I had planned, and I went and said goodbye to a bunch of people. I held it together. I gave a few people a big hug and said, yo, thanks for everything. Thank you so much for being there for me and being a good friend and all this. And I remember I got all the way up to, I held it together so well. Like I was not crying or anything. The moment I got to my supervisor though, I broke down before I even said a word. He just kind of looked at me and he was like, what's up? And I was like crying. I was already crying. And I just kind of looked to the ground and I was just kind of like, I appreciate everything. I said with a shaky voice, obviously, because I was crying. I was like, I appreciate everything. And then I said, I was just like, I love you. And like it was a hard goodbye for me because like the supervisor was my supervisor for like 5 years. He was there for me for a lot of like my depression, uh, and like my different episodes of depression and stuff like that. It was just a very hard thing for me to say goodbye to. But overall, I'm glad I left because I no longer dread going to work. I no longer dread walking through those doors and potentially seeing my ex every day, you know, and I no longer dread it. And it's like it's great. It's just great not to have to worry about seeing her. Like as much as she meant to me and as much as I love seeing her, it's just crazy how little to nothing I meant to her for her to do what she did to me. You know what I mean? Because it felt like everything that she told me was a lie and it was all just a game to her. And basically it just felt like she was basically with me to kill time. And it sucks to say that, but it's what it felt like. It felt like she just kind of got to a point where she was like, "Okay, I'm bored of you. I'm bored with you. I'm done. Or I'm bored. I'm done with you." You know, like it's just I don't know. It's just I don't know. It sucks. And like I said, I couldn't be around that. This guy's gonna come at me. Boink. Bro, I'm actually kind of glad I got him. I didn't think I was gonna get him, honestly. I thought I was gonna die. And like I said, it's great to not to go and it's great to not have to go to work and see her. It's honestly great. It really is great. And like I said, I found someone new that I've emotionally invested in. Obviously, like I said, it's not reciprocated and it's not she doesn't feel the same way, which is unfortunate. But at the same time, I'm glad that I was able to move on in a sense. Of course, the heartbreak is still there, right? For my ex. Of course, the heartbreak is still there. Of course, I still feel alone, like I was saying. But overall, I feel like I have moved on in a sense. She's moved on, so there's no point in why I shouldn't move on, right? She has a new boyfriend already. You know, they're apparently he treats her better than I ever did, which is you know what, cool, good for you. I don't know why you had to say that to people, but you did because word got around to me before I left, and apparently, yeah, he's treated her better than I ever did, and I was like, oh, cool. That's great. That's great to know. I actually like a month after the breakup, I kind of like spiraled in a sense. I sent her a text, a very long text. You know, it was a kind of yearning. I was like, "Hey, I can't let you go. I don't know why. I just can't let you go. And I apologize for everything, even though he was the one that broke up with me and everything, but I still apologize." It was a huge text. It was a long text. Turns out though, she thought the text was stupid. And I heard from one of her friends that she thought the text was stupid and that it didn't mean anything to her. So I was like, all right, that makes me feel great. Absolutely great. Dude, I am so bad with ballistic knives. So bad. I don't know what it is about this like crosshair, but I cannot aim with it. I'm gonna get someone. I gotta get someone with this. Just shooting this little gap right here. I gotta get someone. I want to so bad. I want to so bad. So bad. Come on, come on, come on. And like I said, it sucks that she felt that way about me. And it sucks that I essentially meant nothing to her after almost 3 years together. It sucks, but you know, it is what it is. You can't change the past. You can't change how people feel. And you just gotta learn to live with it. Nice, nice, nice. Let's go, boys. I don't know. More of the story is you're never alone. Remember that. I saw a thing the other day actually. He said like a guy said, if you took your main problem right now that you're facing and you put it in a hat with everyone else in the world or whatever, and then you had to pick out a random someone else's problem, would you like still do it, or like do you think your problem is all that bad or something? I can't remember exactly what it is, but it was like, would you trade for that problem? I hate the feeling of loneliness and stuff like that, but like I said, you're never really alone. You have friends, you have family. You just gotta, it's just a hard mental barrier to kind of break. Thank you guys so much for watching. This is just me talking and ranting about you're never alone. You never are. You may feel like you're alone. I feel like I'm alone every day, right? Laying in bed alone with my dog. Not alone with my dog, but alone because I don't have a special someone anymore, right? In a sense, like I don't have anyone to come home to, in a sense, stuff like that. So alone like that, you know, I see a TikTok or a reel and I'm like, oh, this is funny. I no longer have that other person to send it to, right? Sit on the phone with, you know, sit in a Discord call with, you know, or play games with, you know, no longer have that person or like that person I'm texting all day. And it does make you feel alone. Don't get me wrong. But at the end of the day, like I said, you have your friends, you have your family. It's just that mental barrier of loneliness that you got to get through. And that's what I am trying to get through. Anyways, thank you guys so much for watching. I was going to say we could play another game, but we're not going to find a lobby, I don't think. So thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you guys enjoyed. I'll see you guys in the next video. We literally found another game. Wow. Hey, this guy's on TTV. Is he live? Let's see if he's live. I'm not watching one right now, so we could. No to Astro. He is indeed not live right now. And they play Elden Ring and Dark Souls 3. They streamed 12 hours ago, though. Their page has anime girls on it, on the banner. That is absolutely wild. I'm not big on anime. Anime is something that I'm not big on. But that's okay, because, I don't know, I guess it's just okay. I don't know. Summit. They brought back Summit? I didn't know they brought back Summit, honestly. I did not know that they brought back Summit. The hardest part, too, is that, like, dating these days is awful, right? Because, you know, like, social media has completely ruined the dating experience. Because you sit here at the beginning, like, you open up social media and you just feel more alone. Because, like, you'll open up Facebook or Snapchat or something and you'll just see people like, oh, I'm having a kid. Oh, we got engaged. Oh, I did this. I did that. Oh, we're doing this, you know? And you're just like, all it does is make you feel more and more alone or something. I don't know, dude. It's just, it sucks. It really does suck, you know? Like, it does harp on you a little bit. All right, we're gonna try and like speed run this a little bit. We're gonna try and dominate this round of gun game real quick, guys. Oh man, that was awful. Oh, this is gonna be a challenging one. I have a feeling this is gonna be a challenging one. I hear someone. He's in here. There's someone on my right. Oh my gosh. I was trying so hard to like actually like, and I want to like try and stream more and like I said, make content more and like get my mind off stuff that way. But like at the same time, the motivation honestly right now is just not there. It's just there's just no motivation right now for me, and it really does suck. It really does suck because like I enjoy this. This is a great hobby, and I've always like people might take this video as me oversharing about stuff, but like I've always kind of treated my channel as like a journal in a sense because I don't expect it to go far. I don't expect it to become like any source of income really. That was horrible. A lot of my videos are kind of reflective videos or like me expressing my thoughts and stuff. And like, it's something that like, I want to be able to look back at in the future and be like, wow, I've really improved since then. Or wow, a lot has changed since then. Something that if I do have kids, something my kids could watch and see how I was when I was their age or when I was younger. Or like, you know, just just something to reflect on. Or like my niece and nephews. They're actually part of the reason why I don't swear anymore in videos is because I don't know if they watch videos or not. But if they ever do, then I'm not swearing and they could, you know, hear me and they could hear my thoughts and expressions and stuff. Granted, there are videos where I do swear. There are quite a few videos where I do swear, but in recent years, I have really kind of dumbed down the swearing. I don't swear as much in videos, and I've really tried to improve on that. Not really much on stream. I stream quite a bit, or I swear quite a bit on stream, but I don't think they'll be watching stream anytime soon. But like videos, I know they watch like YouTube quite a bit, so I try to kind of. But if they ever do come stumble across my channel or you know something like that, then whatever. Right? We did awful. We went 10-11, which isn't horrible, but here I was talking about speed running this round of gun game, and I didn't do anything. This Astro person, they went off. But anyways, thank you guys so much for watching. You're never alone. It may feel like it, but you are. I hope you guys enjoyed my little journal entry for the day. I should actually just do that. Do journal entries. Do journal entry number 1 type of stuff, dude. Oh, that's actually not a bad idea. That's not a bad idea. I didn't even think of that. Anyways, thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you guys have a great day. This is Jip, and I'm out. Peace.